Good morning. It is super early on a Sunday morning, and that can only mean one thing, a car show. So I'm in the Mercury Grand Marquis right now, about to head to the American Car Show at Zandvoort racetrack. Last year I wasn't able to join this event because I had joined the BMW car show, which was on the same day, and I didn't have the Mercury Grand Marquis anyway. So I'm really excited to go today, go in an American car, see a bunch of American cars that exist here in the Netherlands. So I'm really looking forward to it, so let's jump into it and see what today's all about. Today is going to be crazy. I already see so many American cars here as we line up to get into the track, but it is crazy to see the American car culture. I know I covered a previous smaller show before, but this is a lot bigger and probably one of the biggest in the Netherlands. Welcome to American Car Sunday. I swear I haven't left the Netherlands, but by the looks of it, you would swear this is straight out of the United States. I have never seen a concentration of so many American cars, especially on this side of the ocean. And this is such a cool event, so let's dive into it a little bit more. When it comes to the American cars here, there's literally something for everyone. And there's every type of American car, even cars that I don't even see anywhere back in the United States, and even newer cars that I haven't had a chance to really see because I don't live in the United States anymore. So something like a C8 Corvette, the new F-150 Lightning, I've seen one that's lifted. It's really cool to be able to see these cars in person, but it's really strange to see them on this side of the ocean because these cars aren't sold here. So it's really cool to see this, this culture around these American cars, that petrol head, V8, big American muscle car. That's what I'm seeing here today. I mean, look at this Ram TRX and this other Ram truck here. I mean, these are huge cars, even in the United States. And someone is driving this around. I've seen a couple TRXs here. And the TRX is pretty rare and even goes above asking price in the United States. So you can imagine how expensive it is to not only have one of these, but ship it over here, pay for the taxes. It's absolutely crazy. And this truck is absolutely massive. I mean, look at it standing next to me. I'm almost 6 feet tall. This thing is huge. Can you imagine driving this around Dutch streets? More examples of giant American pickup trucks here. Look at this lifted Silverado. Look how tall this thing is when I stand next to it. And can you imagine someone driving this around the Netherlands? It's for sale right now, but a lifted American pickup truck. This is what I associate with Florida, and it's here in the Netherlands. Crazy. And then, of course, right next to it, a TRX. No big deal. One of the other cool things is to see cars that are so well preserved, and these are so rare. You wouldn't even find these very often in the United States. Like, look at this. I don't even know what these cars are. Some of these I've never even seen in person. So to see these cars here in the Netherlands and Europe and being so, well taken care of, that's what's really, really cool. And this is what I was talking about with the Mercury Grand Marquis and bringing it over here. There's an appreciation for these American cars, big V8, American muscle, and people take care of these cars when they have them here. There's Mustangs for days here, so many Mustangs. I've seen hundreds of Mustangs here. Plenty of Corvettes. And a Cadillac XLR. These are super rare nowadays. Got some square bodies as well, and I think square bodies are well preserved and taken care of here, and these things will last forever. I mean, people really put the time and effort into keeping these things running and keeping them rust-free, and you see them still on the road and used for daily purposes. So it's really, really cool to see that culture here. Talk about an old Panther. This is an old Mercury Grand Marquis. So this thing basically runs on the same platform that my Mercury Grand Marquis has, although this is several years older. But body on frame wise, the frame and everything is pretty much the same. Of course, the body is different, but this platform was used for a very long time. So this is a really, really old example of a Grand Marquis, but look at it. Check out this pickup truck. Look at this, a dually Denali HD. I mean, obviously this is a work truck, and this company, I've featured them in a video before, but they're one of the companies here in Amsterdam that you can get a pickup truck from, and it talked a little bit about American pickup trucks and the tax benefits here in the Netherlands. And DUSA is one of the companies that supports, being able to get a pickup truck here in the Netherlands and in Amsterdam, but also other American cars. But look, another TRX here. I mean, this is just crazy, right? Like this thing is huge. You see, they've got so many other American cars here for sale as well through this company. So, and of course, a C8 Corvette. I mean, this thing is just absolutely stunning. And to see one here in the Netherlands is really, really just amazing. Really haven't seen one up close and personal. So to be able to see it in person, really, really awesome. Here's a good compare and contrast. Some American auto enthusiasts would be going crazy over this car, the Fiat Multipla, and over here people are going crazy over these cars, these American classics here. But I'm looking at this Multipla. So this is what I was saying, there's an F-150 Lightning here. There's a few of these being imported over to the Netherlands and over to Europe. And actually just this week, Ford announced that in Norway, they're going to be selling these somewhat officially and unofficially for specific use cases there with their rescue operations. But it's really cool to see an F-150 Lightning here, and this one's lifted actually. But what's cool with the F-150 Lightning is that it's electric. So, EVs are a popular thing here in the Netherlands and a lot of European countries. So, this thing's fully electric, as big as it is. I mean, it's super heavy. But this would be a great truck to have in Europe where you don't have to worry about fuel. And then you've got the new Bronco here, which is already rare and hard to get in the United States, and there's people who are importing them and driving them here. And actually, when I went to pick up the Mercury last year, I saw a Bronco in the shop there being imported. So these are super rare here, but they're becoming more popular and super expensive, of course. Just imagine, as rare and expensive as they are in the United States, they're even rarer and more expensive here, and people are still driving them and owning them here. I'm not a big SUV or off-road person, but I had a chance to test drive one of these last year when I was back in Florida. And I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty cool to drive one of these around. Top down, driving down the street, driving over some curbs just to see what it can do. It was really cool to drive one of these, and I see the hype behind them. See, here's a clear example. This is a Pontiac Grand Am, and in the United States, nobody would look twice at this car if they even exist. Most of these are probably rusted away, fallen apart, been crashed. This one actually looks like a pretty decent condition, and I haven't seen one of these in person in so long. So this is what I'm talking about. People actually, appreciate these types of American cars, even if it's a Grand Am. And it's the same kind of thing in the United States with like an old Peugeot, an old Fiat that people would really appreciate, enthusiasts. Here, it's a Pontiac Grand Am. H2, check it out. SUT, I think they used to call these. I haven't seen one of these in so long. I'm learning more and more that back in the day there were a lot of American cars like this sold in the European market and slightly adapted for the European regulations. So it is not uncommon to see these, but it's easy to spot because they have the amber turn signals usually, which the American market didn't. But if you don't know to look for that, it looks just like any other American market Camaro. Here's another example of an American car that I never would have imagined sold in the European market, but this Buick Park Avenue with the rear fog lights, amber turn signals. You see, these were sold here originally for this market, and they look a little bit different than the US market versions of this car. The European market Corvette, you see with the amber turn signals, that's a clear giveaway right there. Another two Euro market Corvettes, which you can see based on their lights, different from the US, and this one has the rear fog lights kind of sticking out. Doesn't look so elegant, but hey, it met the requirements here and they were able to sell them. Vans as well. There was a whole van section I walked by earlier, so here's a few more. Again, these vans will run forever if you take care of them, and people import these. Sometimes they fill them up with stuff while they import them and bring stuff over, and these ones are in great shape. I saw a lot of this on my way in, but American cars being towed by American cars, big American cars. So, of course, if you have an American car here or you need to tow them, what's a better car to tow that than another American car? And what's interesting with this one here that's being towed is you can see these things sometimes come in pretty rough shape. Rusted body panels, missing glass, falling apart interiors. and someone's gonna fix this up. Someone's gonna restore this and bring this back into better shape than it was in the United States. So it's really not uncommon for people to be importing these kind of fallen apart classics and really restoring them in a quality way. I think what's also interesting with this event is it's not just about the American cars, but a little bit about the American culture as well. So you see people kind of dressed to look American, cowboy hats, cowboy boots, Harley Davidson gear, leather jackets, American flag merchandise. Of course, I'm wearing my own little logo here. But it's just so funny to me to see this in the Netherlands, that there's such a huge following for American culture. And I guess it's kind of the same as what you see in the United States with people, you know, embracing the Irish culture, German culture, but it's just weird for me to see this here. So I mentioned this previously in my video before when I went to the last American show last year. But what's also really cool about these events is to see the smile on kids' faces and to see these cars in person that they maybe haven't seen, never been to the United States, and to give them that taste of the American culture and seeing these American cars here. I think there's something special about that. I've seen kids take pictures with the cars and take pictures of the cars, so it's really cool to see that passion around it. I've talked about the passion before, but really cool to see that from the kids, and you know, they get to smell the V8 fumes and hear those sounds, and that's also something that they will remember for a lifetime. So it's really cool to see that, you know, even though there's a lot of unpopularity around internal combustion engines and big engines and inefficient engines, there's still a huge passion and culture around it, and it still has a significance, and kids here are learning that today. So here's something I didn't know till recently, and I see one here. This is a Ford Lobo. Actually, it's an F-150, but in the Mexican market, they call the Ford F-150 the Lobo. Maybe I'm mispronouncing it, let me know. But this is imported here through the DUSA company that I was talking about earlier. And you know, what's nice is I guess it's a Mexican market, so it's already in kilometers, and some of the amber turn signals, things like that that are required for Europe are the same. But I've never actually seen one called a Lobo here instead of an F-150. So of course, it's the exact same car, but just called a Lobo. I don't know if everybody who knows the F-150 knows that it's called something different in the Mexican market. Let me know in the comments below what you think. But yeah, Ford Lobo, actually, F-150. I love these cars, the Pontiac Solstice GXP and then the Saturn Sky Redline. These were actually Opals that were rebadged and sold in the United States. And I think these are gonna end up being collectibles if they're not already. Two-seater, rear-wheel drive. You can get them with a manual transmission, just like this one has today. They were pretty affordable and I think relatively inexpensive to maintain. I don't know how reliable they are, but such a cool car that I think is going to be a true collector's item one day, if it's not already. Of course, I have to recognize the Panthers coming out strong. All of the police cars, the Dutch Police Club here. So, of course, the Grand Marquis is an honorary member parked lower down there, but it's really legit to see the police cars here, and even the owners in the police outfit. It's really crazy to see that. They're gathering a lot of attention right now. They just came from driving on the track, which was super cool to see. Yeah, it's really cool to see really pristine examples of the Crown Vics. And this is what I was saying, you know, these cars are well taken care of here. This one's even roped off, but absolutely pristine and authentic. And, you know, even with the lights, sirens, speakers, everything. So really, really cool to see that here. And it's gathering a lot of attention, of course. And we've got the Grand Marquis here, next to another friend that's met here, along with the rest of the Panthers kind of joining the club here. So cool group we've got going on here. So I thought it was crazy before, but this is absolutely bonkers. These are American semi-trucks here at this show. So American semi-trucks that apparently are not actually used for hauling, but just pristine examples. And you don't see these here because these are huge, and most trucks in Europe have a cab over the engine, but of course you can see the American style has the engine in the front, and they're big luxury, you know, hauling machines. And it's just so crazy to see that here. And apparently licensed for normal use, not sure, but really, really cool to see these here. So I could go on, but in the interest of not making this video too long, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. It has been such a cool day, such a cool experience to see all of these American cars here in Europe, here in the Netherlands, you know, and having the Mercury Grand Marquis, the Transatlantic Panther, part of that club. Really, really cool experience. What's kind of crazy to see is really 90% of these cars here shipped over to this part of the world on a container similar to the Mercury Grand Marquis. So it's really, really cool to see that passion and enthusiasm for all of these cars that don't normally exist over here. And you know, it's really cool to be part of that experience, be part of that, document that and capture that on YouTube for everyone to enjoy. So let me know what you think in the comments below about all of these American cars and American cars in Europe in general. And until the next time, thank you so much for watching.